nervous habits. I gnaw away on the flesh of my lips. They are raw and bleed slightly. Compulsive cleaning, deleting, removing, erasing, destroying, inserting Q-tips into my ears over and over. Phone calls home with nothing to say. Their simplicity puts my mind at ease. My next poem is called Legs. When she broke her left leg, it was an excuse to settle down, visit her parents, head out in the darkness of her childhood play space. She told me she was just crossing the street in D.C. to get one of them city hot dogs, when all of a sudden a car hit her on Pennsylvania Avenue, flung her body onto the windshield and the change out of her pockets. When I came to visit, the lights were dim. She was sprawled out on the floral sofa. Her eyes were glassy, her smile as gentle and weak as her open-armed embrace. Her left leg bandaged, her right leg and thick thighs covered in long, spidery black hair. That week in the basement, she ate peanut butter sandwiches and cans of beets. There were piles of Dialud, hydrocodone, oxycodone, and methadone. She had a vast collection of horror books and VHSs. She did not smoke. She kept the lights low and the heat high. Together we watched movies. Together we watched The Lord of the Flies, 1963. I was fascinated with the young, beautiful island boys who cursed like grown men. After she left, back to the city, with crutches to carry her addiction, the VHSs were long overdue. But I sat alone in the basement, with the lights turned on, over and over watching the Lost Island English lads, black and white bronze bodies with foreign tongues, spit, ass, bloody bullocks, until my grandmother crept down the staircase to inspect the mess her youngest daughter left behind. Instantly, she turned off the film and scolded my skin for enjoying such profanity. My next poem is called 222. She burst her head wide open in Saudi Arabia on a glass table. Lost a lot of blood that day with frozen peas to keep things quiet and clean. She woke up with glue on her young, shaven scalp in the ghetto hospital where wild dogs run rampant. The next thing I'm going to read is prose, and there's no title. When I was 15, I dragged my father's record player and large boxy speakers from the garage into my bedroom. I had recently begun collecting dollar records from Goodwill, and I had a boyfriend who had dimples and brown hair. He would come over to my blue bedroom, and we would leave my door cracked ajar, as demanded by my mother. We would make out on my green couch while listening to music on my father's record player. My mother used to bring home miscellaneous offerings for me. Things that she saw and thought I would like, things she would find abandoned or steal. For example, my green foam couch was found in an alleyway, and she was absolutely right. I loved it. So when she came home with a massive collection of records she thought I would like, I was ecstatic. The mountainous collection sat outside our gray house in stacks and rows for me to shuffle through. 80% of the collection was Frank Sinatra. The remainder was soul and pop from the 1950s and 60s. All the record jackets were weathered and rippled. They smelled like mold, and I loved them. Once, when no one else was home, my boyfriend and I sat on my green couch in my blue bedroom with the brown carpet, listening to Aretha Franklin's You're Too Good to Be True as loudly as those boxy speakers could blare, making out as rapidly as two 15-year-olds with braces could possibly do, the metal ripping flesh away from each other's lips. We would listen to these records all day long in my bedroom. In between makeout sessions and storytelling, we flipped records. We listened in the natural lighting pouring in through my windows until the sun went down and the skin on our faces became illuminated by the blue of the receiver's glove. Is my time up?
You can read one more.
Okay. Right.
She's loving it.
I know. You can't get her off.
Last one. The title of this poem is August 31st to September 1st, 1997. The night Princess Diana died, we were huddled around the portable black and white television. Jimmy stroked his banjo with long metal hooks, while I gnawed on pickled pig's feet and sang out to the mallards. The phone rang. It was Nancy, from a payphone in the city. She was hysteric and lonely. She was wailing, and she could not understand why God would hurt someone like Princess Diana. The day after Princess Diana died, we set up camp along the Shenandoah. Heavy, humid winds pushed our warm bodies into the murky, rapid river. When the sun began to settle, I wandered out into the woods, where a herd of cattle slept, and I peeled infantile leeches away from my brown limbs.